Good morning, distinguished panelists, dear friends. It is a great honor to join you at this important panel during the first Trade Union Conference on Development Cooperation. This conference takes place at a moment when the global economy is grappling with the impacts of an unprecedented financial and economic crisis. A sense of anxiety and vulnerability prevails. Job creation and decent work is at the core of any solution. Reflecting on the trade union contribution to development cooperation at this important juncture could not be more timely. Past years have seen increased engagement of trade unions in global development cooperation. The International Trade Union Confederation, as a member of the core international CSO groupings, Better Aid and Open Forum on CSO Effectiveness, has taken the lead on many fronts to amplify the CSO's voice in the global dialogue on development cooperation. At the OECD DAC, ITUC is recognized as a leader in the democratic ownership discussion in the work on aid effectiveness. At the United Nations, ITUC's lobbying for progressive pro-union policy has resulted in wide recognition of decent work in major UN policy outcomes, including the Doha Declaration on Financing for Development. I am also pleased to see ITUC's active involvement in the preparations for the Development Cooperation Forum in the Economic and Social Council. Distinguished panelists, dear friends, the 2005 World Summit outcome mandated ECOSOC to convene a biennial Development Cooperation Forum to review trends in international development cooperation and promote greater coherence amongst the development activities of different development partners. The first DCF, held in July 2008, established itself as a forum for high-quality, independent analysis and for balanced discussions on development cooperation with the participation of various stakeholders. The Doha Follow-up Conference on Financing for Development confirmed the importance of DCF as the focal point within the UN system for broad consideration of issues of international development cooperation with participation by all relevant stakeholders. The 2010 DCF will take place in July next year in New York. Its overall objective is to assess trends in development cooperation and to look at ways of sustaining development cooperation in the current environment and make it more coherent and effective to promote national development and the internationally agreed development goals. At a time of crisis, the Development Cooperation Forum is poised to make practical suggestions for improving the quantity and quality of aid. It will also help in understanding how the responses to multiple crises will impact on our traditional notions of development cooperation. The 2010 Forum will focus on three key issues: mutual accountability in development cooperation, South-South and triangular cooperation, and aid policy coherence. The preparations for the 2010 DCF will pursue a two-pronged approach consisting of multi-stakeholder consultations as well as policy analysis and review. The preparations for the first multi-stakeholder consultations to be held in Vienna on 12th and 13th November are well underway, with a large number of member states and civil society organizations having expressed strong interest in participation. During the symposium, a range of stakeholders, governments, parliamentarians, civil society, local governments are expected to review national and global mutual accountability mechanisms. They will share lessons learned and promote further consensus on standards and criteria on mutual accountability. There will be preliminary discussions of definitions and measurements on South-South cooperation, as well as an understanding on how to improve coherence in policy towards aid, trade, debt, and investments. Two other multi-stakeholder symposiums are planned to be held to carry out that work forward. Building on the consultations, the DCF will come up with concrete guidance and tools for making aid more coherent and effective in the three focus areas I mentioned, as well as recommendations to mitigate the impact of the multiple crises on development cooperation. To achieve its objectives, the DCF seeks close collaboration with all stakeholders. Trade unions have a special role in many aspects of this debate. decent work, green jobs, gender at the heart of decent work are three simple examples where your reflections and insights would enrich our debate. The strong support from stakeholder groups such as parliamentarians, civil society and local governments was amongst the most important factors contributing to the success of the first DCF. Strengthening the voice of all stakeholders, including the trade unions, in high-level policy dialogues on key development cooperation issues is a key strategy for the preparations of the 2010 DCF. I would like to encourage the ITUC to continue its active engagement in the DCF process. I look forward to further cooperation with ITUC on various fronts of development cooperation. I thank you for your attention and wish your meeting great success.